Good morning, evening, or afternoon to all of you beautiful people. Josh here to bring you some sweet voice-based content. So, auditioning. It's a thing. It's a thing you have to do. A thing you have to do a lot. Auditioning is what you will spend a large portion of your voice acting life doing. Auditioning is the most common way to get roles, and it's honestly a really great way to just hone your craft. It's just a natural thing. The more you audition, the better you'll get at auditioning, and therefore, by proxy, the better you'll be at voice acting. But how do you audition? What are some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to auditioning for a role? Well, I may not be a professional, and I definitely don't have the perfect answer, but I've had a fair bit of experience auditioning, and I've submitted some pretty solid auditions, and I've got a process that works for me, so I figured I'd talk today about how I prepare for an audition and how I actually do the audition. So here we go. This is my guide on how to prep and audition. Let's go! So the first step is to obviously find an audition that you want to go for. There are an absolute plethora of sites out there. I personally use Casting Call Club because I like the interface and the fact that you can see what Casting Call Club thinks the possibility of the project actually being completed is, as well as the fact that it requires directors to give a lot of information on a project before they submit it. But there's a myriad of sites out there, so do some research, have a little look around, and find an audition that catches your fancy. Once you've found the audition and found the part that you want to go for, you might think you dive straight into the audition. You're wrong! I cannot stress this part enough. Read everything on the audition. Check all the voice references, see how many takes you need to do, see exactly what the director is asking of you for the audition before you even turn your mic on. The reason why I put so much emphasis on this part is because of something I've mentioned in a previous video. I've seen so many auditions where people either will give like 3 takes of a line when a director's only asked for 1, or they'll put a slate at the start when the director hasn't specifically asked for it, or when the voice director is given a voice reference and somebody has gone for the complete other end of the fucking spectrum. It makes no fucking sense. If you don't do what the director asks of you, you're just shooting yourself in the foot before he's even listened to your audition. So please, for the love of God, read everything on the audition. I promise you, it will help. I know you just want to dive straight in an audition, but this part is imperative to making sure that you are giving the best performance in order to get the role that you're auditioning for. Next up, timing. Timing when you're deciding to record is extremely important in getting a good audition done. Make sure you're recording at a time where there's no unnecessary background noise. No annoying kids in the background, yours or otherwise. No pipes going crazy, no chainsaws in the background, I don't fucking know. Because the thing is, if you can hear it, the director can definitely hear it. It's going to work out much better for you to audition a little bit later in the day and get it really, really good, get it absolutely perfect, rather than audition at that exact point when you're really, really hyped for it, and end up having a recording where you can hear a young child screaming the word buttocks over and over again. Now we're almost into the actual audition, just one more step to go through. And this, I think, is the most important step overall. This step is to get into character. In my experience, I feel like the best thing to do is to experiment before you even turn the mic on. Look at the lines and try different ways of delivery, different tones, different textures to your voice, different timbres, different pitch. Try different emotions, pace the line out a bit more, or maybe increase the pace of the line. Try different emotions. If you're feeling like this line should be delivered really angrily and aggressively, try the other end of the spectrum and just see what happens. Personally, I like to have the lines in front of me on my phone and I will walk around my recording space while I do the lines. I don't know why, but I tend to find that inspiration strikes when I'm on the move rather than when I'm stationary. Either way, just give yourself some space to experiment, that's the main thing. Now it's time to actually record the audition, and I only really have one piece of advice for this section. And again, it sounds like a really obvious thing, but you'd be surprised. My advice? Do loads of takes. You might have found the voice that you really, really like, but it's always good to experiment while you're doing it as well, just so then you've got the room to kind of try new things and find something that might even be better. If you want an exact number, personally, I tend to do between 4 and 7 takes of each individual line, but this will depend purely on how confident I am with the voice and how I'm feeling on that day. Some days I've done 10 to 15 takes of a line and not been happy with any of them. And then in other times I've done 3 takes and all of them were really, really solid. The biggest thing to remember is it's very rare that you're going to get the line right on the first try. Sometimes you may never get the line right on the first try. I know I haven't found a day where I've done that. But there's no shame in that. Give yourself the room to keep trying new things. It will really, really benefit you when it comes to picking that audition line that you want to go with. Finally, editing and uploading the audition. Now when I say editing, I don't mean it in terms of like effects or anything like that. Unless a director specifically asked you to, I would always say to submit your auditions raw. This one's a bit more rare, but I have seen a couple of auditions where somebody has compressed the ever-loving fuck out of their audition. Just keep it simple. Clean up any long pauses, edit the lines together so that they flow a little bit better, and at most, maybe adjust the volume if one line sounds drastically louder than the other, just so you can match things a little bit better. And there we go, that's pretty much everything. Now, as I've mentioned, I'm not an expert here, pretty much the furthest fucking thing from it. This is just a combination of auditioning a fuck ton, talking to directors, being in projects, and just learning from my own fuck-ups. Honestly, like I said before, the best advice I can really give is just to keep auditioning. You gotta be willing to suck a little bit at first. Nobody's an expert overnight. Hell, I still suck a little bit, but you know, I'm leaps and bounds ahead of where I was. So get out there, submit those auditions, and know that I believe in you. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. What are some auditioning rituals that you have in place? I'm genuinely curious, so pop them in the comments below if you have any. Don't forget to like and share this video, and of course subscribe to my channel for more beautiful voice-based content. Keep your eyes out for my next video, I upload every 2 weeks, but until then, you beautiful people, stay wonderful.